Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters and viewers and listeners, Sister Zahra. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Today, alhamdulillah, we have another superb episode of Matrimonial Matrix for you. Today, we will be discussing the life after marriage, how you're going to balance your finances, how are you going to balance your career with your new life. And also one of the things we wanted to discuss was if someone is going through a career break or a career change and they have taken some time out, is it still wise to continue looking for someone to get married to, or should you put getting married on a hold? Let's ask Sister Zahra for her input first before we sort of like go into the depth of this.
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm Zara, your host and coach. Today is episode 5. As Sister Shahnaz told that, it's all about the career and marriage and the combination of it. Either it's before or after marriage. If you are taking break by the events happen in a way or by choice, what do you have to do? Either you have to take the break from the marriage if you are before the marriage, or if you have it after the marriage, how you gonna manage it. So I will say that when you are looking for a girl or boy, there are lots of stress for the people who are on the break or from the career from because of various reasons, or they are not able to find a job. So I have a question for you first of all before we go more deeper conversation. Do you think that that 5 or 6 or 10 years you are waiting for build up a glorious career to waste? I will say it as a waste, because you are living your life, not moving on emotionally, because you are waiting for a job. Is it a wise decision to put a hold or to put a rejection on someone who is not working? And the vice versa, if a girl is working and you want her to take a break from her career because you want a housewife in a way to do the things which she never thought of giving. So, how to do before the marriage? First, let's go to the Shinas about that.
Yes, we often have people who perhaps are looking, they've started looking, let's say 6 months ago or a year ago, and then suddenly the child stops working for whatever reason. There may be redundancy, there may be a shift in the workplace. The workforce may have moved somewhere else and the child doesn't want to go. So they have decided to now find something else. Majority of the time, what we find is that the parents will say, "Oh, we need to stop looking now because my child is not working." Now, your child will start working, inshallah, very soon. Why are you putting everything on hold? Now, the reason they tell me they're putting everything on hold, and I believe the reason is valid because it has materialized as such when we speak to other people. The reason they stop looking for someone for their child is because they say that, oh, the other party, the potentials, they will turn around and say, oh, the boy's not working, so we do not want our daughter to marry a man that is not working. And then lo and behold, the girl's family will actually say that as well. I have come across many people that don't say, oh, well, he's obviously been working throughout his life. This is just a phase. This is just a short time in his life where either there's a career change or there's he had to stop working because of a specific reason. That's the only reason that he's not working at the moment. He will be working soon. And, shall we continue with this? Immediately, people will say, no, we need to stop. But personally, I would say, no, you do not need to stop. Because just imagine if the guy and the girl had got married, and 3 months into the marriage, he was then laid off, he was made redundant, or his job moved up north, and therefore he couldn't move there because he has family ties, he's newly married, he wants to stay with his parents and his wife. Oh, they've just bought a house, you can't just get up and leave. Then what would you do? would you not stick with him? You would then, you would, if you're already married and your husband loses his job, you stick with them. You don't see women saying, okay, he's not working now and I'm going to leave him. It doesn't happen. So your daughter, she wouldn't do that if he left his job after 3 months. So why are you as a parent blocking their marriage just because he is not working at the moment? It's very sad because people don't look further ahead enough. They seem to think that, oh, he's not working, all the burden is going to be on my child, my daughter. Now, if they are young, chances are that they're living with the parents, and the parents aren't going to let them suffer. The parents aren't going to, starve the children. The parents aren't going to turn them out and make them live on the street. The parents are still going to look after their child. And if they have parental support, then your child will not suffer. And then you, as a parent, are behind your child. So therefore, they've got two sets of supports. They've got their own parents' support and they've got the in-laws' support as well. And therefore, the children's lifestyles will not suffer. And inshallah, he will be working again soon and their life can continue as blissfully as possible. Mhm.
Exactly. And that's what it is really beautiful. You said that, there is a two set of parents are supporting their children. And even though if I will say here that even though if the parents support, because parents are living in their own means and it's not excessive for them to support the married couple or unmarried couple, uh, just think about that, to live on the necessities, what you bare minimum, lots of people live on to that as well. Uh, we exaggerated the things in this world. We want the lots of luxurious life, but otherwise, if we see that, having a person by your side, all thick and thin, is more important. And supporting each other, motivating each other, may be the way to both of you success. But if you are waiting, waiting, and waiting, and looking, using that time, you will go more like, your age is, you are growing every day.
Mhm.
So number in your age number is growing every day. And as we discussed in the previous episodes, when someone is looking for a potential spouse or a groom, there is a set mindset is there. And that's also the face value factor. So we come forward a little bit of that, the face value factor. If you are in an age where there is a face value factor, it start impacting you, and then there is a job factor, it start impacting you. Do you want to still want to wait for that long? Where there is there, because there is no wheel which is going backwards. Life is going forward, and when life is going forward for a girl or boy, you are making them to sit waiting because you are the parents or decision makers. 90% I will say, because the 10% who do their choice of the marriage, they are already get married. Now we are not talking about the love marriages or thing, because in that period the people who like each other, met each other, they are already get married. Now there people are who are not getting married, who are bind with some responsibilities or bind with the because of the parents pressure. So that bindness is basically either if it's from the parents, then you have to think that, the right fit, how long. So if you are thinking that right fit, that all tick boxing, if you are thinking you are giving yourself whole life, then that's a bad choice.
Mhm.
Give yourself at least 2 to 3 years of tick marking your list before the time is, because when the time is getting forward, lots of tick boxes in your list as anyway being eliminated.
Mhm.
Like, when you come out of the house to finding a potential bride and groom, you have a long list. I want this.
Mhm.
But when the time wheel is going forward, going forward, going forward, and you still haven't found the right fit, the life anyway take lots of boxes out from your choice. So before the life take out the choices from you, you find what is your top five. And I will say the job must be on the fifth number, not on the first number. Because a person who is ambitious, who is working hard, who is kind is most important than a person with a job, any kind of job, but uh, have some emotional difficulties, have some anger issues, some other no for your list, and they will come in front of you later on, which is more not tolerable for you. So think about in this way, and I will ask Sister Shanaz about this point.
I think with the tick box, generally speaking, it is the parents that make this tick box list. And children have a little bit of say in this, for instance, oh, well, we want this, we want the other. And then the parents, majority of the tick boxing is the parents' wish and want. Now, children, I think if they met and they spoke, they would be willing to give each other a chance. Like we spoke earlier, many a times when you put children together or young adults together and you say, right, okay, see if you are suited to each other, a majority of the time it comes out as a positive. It's only when parents say nitpick. And I think sometimes this not working at the moment and having this little break, this may be part of the parents' nitpick. Now, sometimes, not all the time, maybe you can understand the girl's parents saying, oh, well, the boy's not working, so we don't want our daughter to go into that household because she will not have him providing for her. She will be mortaj, as in the word in Urdu. Now, if we flip it the other way around, you also see the boy's family saying, oh, is the girl working? And you say, oh, she's actually on a break at the moment, or she's between jobs. And they'll be like, oh, okay, let's wait until she finds something. Or no, we don't want to see that one. Let's move to the next one. Reason being, because they will want her to come into the family. They want her to be working already, so she's got some sort of savings, and him and her can get together and buy a house so they can move out. Or she can come in and continue to support the family. So the boys' side, you can understand, yes, the girl may she needs a provider. But the boys' side, even they are sometimes very picky about, is the girl working? And if you've got a young lady who's let's say she's finished her degree, she's not in the field that she chose to that she wants to be in, but she's in, let's say she was doing a job while she was at uni, and she's just working there, Tesco's, Asda, something as simple. People will still be a bit reluctant to actually speak to this potential because they will, oh, well, that's not a good job. Oh, that's not a job that I want my daughter-in-law to have. Why is she not working in the field that she should be in her chosen field? Let's leave that one. Let's go on to the next one. So they will not entertain going and visiting someone who is not working. And then we have the more mature women, like for instance, someone that's already been married and looking to marry the second time. They are very picky with this. Oh, he must be working as well, because they just feel that if he's not working, then he's going to be living off me. And somehow or the other, they just believe that if he's living off me, he's going to become comfortable, and then I'm going to be doing everything, and he's just going to be doing nothing. So it's a really difficult situation. It's a situation where it can be sorted if you're young, if both of if the girl and the boy are young, they've got parents behind them. It can be sorted. Parents can put their support in there and help them move forward, help them to get married, help them to climb the property ladder or whatever it is that you would want them to do. And that's why you're making a big fuss about the earning potential. So if that is the case, then the parents need to help them and move forward. If the child's got no one to help them, majority of the time they will not be the one making these demands. They will not be saying, oh, she has to be doing this, oh, she has to be doing that, because they will, as long as I get on with her, as long as we click, then that's fine. So that will probably work. But if you got, two, you want to believe that they're two supporting families, but they could be very supporting in other ways. But in this particular case, where one person is not working, they can be a hindrance. And they have their reasons. Obviously, we don't know why they think the way they do, but they must have their reasons for putting this as a block for themselves. And this is what they do. They actually block themselves going forward. And it's very sad that they just see that one job. That the only thing that's not working is the job, the fact that he's not earning or she's not earning. They don't look at the nice personality that he's got, what a pleasant looking guy he is, how what good family he comes from, how hard he's worked in the past. He built himself up to a certain stage, and it's a shame that he did lose the job for whatever reasons. But inshallah, he's hardworking. He will get there again. So if we just sort of like gave that little bit of support to these young people, they would, I think they would have the pleasure of getting married, they would have the pleasure of having children, they would have a pleasure of a spouse. When we put these obstacles in the way, then what happens is these children, I've got many, many people on my register who are in their 40s, who are in their 50s. And when you're in your 40s and 50s, your support network, like your parents and your brothers and sisters, your parents have probably passed away, your brothers and sisters have got married and they've got their own children, they've got their own lives, they've got their own homes to run. So you are left to be on your own. So you may still be working, but you are now on your own. And there's not many potentials for you at that stage as well. So if we gave it that thought that, okay, 10 years from now, where am I going to be? So that's what parents need to look at. That 10 years from now, am I going to be here to support my child? Well, if I'm not, then I need to leave my child in a positive surrounding where the child is going to be looked after. And that would be best with a kind person, a gentle, nice person who will look after her. And perhaps he's going through a stage at the moment where he's not financially stable, but he will be. When her and his risk comes together, they will be stable.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's really really amazing what Sister Shanaz told. Then and now I will add some little bit of the other side of the story where both of you are working and there are potential of the marriage perspectives are going on. There are some important talks you have to talk with each other, which is when two people are working. What kind of the role you are doing in the home? If the girl is working and the boy is working, who is taking care of the home? Or are you able to discuss that we both work, like as an we'll say that the movie scenario, one person is cooking and one person is cleaning, so you need to think about that rules as well. What will happen if the one person, like in a maternity leave when the children is there, and the obviously you are not taking the career break, who is your support system, who is how you are gonna be find a childcare or something like that, what kind of support is that? So just discuss a little bit about these aspects when you have want to have the both mm, uh, potential partners are working, and how things are going to work around that, and how much the parents are ready to support when you are looking for a spouse which is as in a girl is also working.
Mhm.
And for the girl, if you are working, you have a built, mashallah, beautiful career and you want to keep working, just think about that, how flexible are you in the future when you are going to take the break from the career? Because you might not to take the break, ready to take the break, or something like, your job is something, but you have to take break for a few months even. You go back to your work when your child is 6 months or so, then who is taking care of that child? And if you decided to stay in home and make a career change or work from that when then your husband, like if I say in the beginning you are decided that you will take break for 5 or 6 years until you give birth and your children are primary school age, And at that time, when you're starting from the zero, how much your husband is supporting you to giving that time to have some responsibility so you can go and do the study back and go build your career from the scratch. Because the career you built before the marriage, you leave that and then you have the break. When you have the break, you need to fulfill in some part-time jobs or something like that. So she is not doing full-time work, but she wants to fill her in CV. This is the practical steps you also think about, talk about in a friendly way, in a conversation where you have solutions, not the problems.
Mhm.
What do you think about that, Shanas?
It's very interesting, touching up on the fact that where the bride and the groom are both working. If they're living with their parents or they're living with his parents and those parents are quite supportive, then it works extremely well where she's working, he's working, and the parents are supportive. So while they're gone out to work, then of course, when you come back, you need to eat. So the food is cooked, the house is clean, and you come back and everything is lovely. It's only the problem arises where he's working, she's working, and it's still expected of her to come home and do the housework as well. And this can be sometimes in families where even though the parents are not working, but they believe that, well, actually, we've lived our life, we've done our bit, we don't want to be cooking for somebody else as well. So when you come back, you have to make your own meals. And that means that the girl comes back, then she's got to do. So he's working, and when he comes home, it's quite good. Where she's working, but when she comes home, she's got to do the work involved in the house as well. So it's that's like you say, it does need to be discussed that will they both be taking partnership in this? Will they be 50-50? Are they both going to come home together and do everything together? Are they going to cook together, tidy up together? Prepare for the next day together, and then sit down. What will normally happen is that the girl will be doing all of this, and the man will come into the house, put his bag down, and go and sit in front of the TV. So then it becomes quite stressful, and things can become quite ugly after that. So it's I think the female, the girl definitely needs to sit down with the man and discuss what will happen once we start working. If we're both working, we're both out for what, 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, and we're both going to come home. We've both had that commute. We've both had that brain ticking away at work and so on. What are we going to do when we get home? One person is not going to relax while the other one takes care of the kitchen. No, you both have to take care of the kitchen. You both have to take care of everything, and then you both relax. Then, coming to having your children, you'll often find that a woman's life will change way more than what a man's life will change once they have children. Of course, it's nice that brothers do look after their children now. They will get up at night and feed and so on. But with a woman, there's a lot more going on, not just the looking after, but the hormonal changes and the being away from work and just having this new life where you're just at home with this little baby, and it's a huge change. So how are we going to put the support in there as well? Are you going to have his mum come and stay with you for a while, your mum come and stay with you for a while? How are you going to finance it all? How is work going to be? Are you going to work after you've had the baby? If you are, then how many days are you going to be working? And if you've got a career where you really don't want to give up, or you want to climb the ladder, then is it going to be possible with having children? So all these things will need to be discussed beforehand. And sometimes people say, well, we'll deal with it when the time comes. And sometimes you feel, well, maybe that's correct. They can deal with it when the time comes. Maybe they won't have children straight away. Maybe she'll be working differently. Maybe you just let it be. But sometimes it's like, no, it needs to be sorted now. Some families are very firm. They will say, no, we need to discuss this now. Personally, I just say to them, whatever suits you, then do that. But things do need to be on the table. They need to be open. You need to have open conversations about these things and see where everybody sits with their ideas.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's exactly we are here to telling you now to decide when you are going to talk. Even though if you are going to talk later on, so be open to compromise because you are in the relationship. Because you leave it on the time when this time will come, we will see. So then be mindful, then you have less choices at that time because you haven't talked on earlier on to that, and then you have to may have to compromise on the certain things, but it's okay to compromise as well, and it's okay. I will only making a point for emotional well-being and the potential a happy family where you know what you are compromising. As usually someone said to me, everything has a price. Is do you willing to pay that price? So when you are leaving your when you're asking your wife to not to work, but obviously you have to be willing to give her as much which way she can feel fulfilled. Or
Mhm.
either you give the time or either you give the money. This is your choice, what you like, what price you're going to pay in that
Mhm.
situation. That's a little bit I can say that, straightforward, but this is what is the business here, your personal business. Take it as a business as well, because love is something we all like, but love does need some sacrifices as well.
Mhm. True.
This is the end of the episode from my side. Up to you, Shanaz. What is your last words?
Yes, my last words are with everything that we've discussed today, the fact about not going forward when someone is not working. I think that needs to be, you need to really sit down and think about that. That a permanent a permanent issue, because people stop and start work all the time. So you don't make it a bigger deal than it is. And then with the compromises after marriage, where you have children and there's things that you will be doing more of than your partner. All of this, it depends on how you want to keep your marriage, how you want to be happy in it, how you think it is going to work. And like Sister Zara says, there's a price for everything. So you have to be willing that am I willing to pay this price, the price to be happy? Just because all tough times are for a short time. You will find that majority of the time in your lives, if you look back, majority of the time you've been happy. There's been a few struggles, and that's how it continues throughout life. In our art and life now, we are sort of like, nearing 60. You will find that I can truly tell you from my own lifestyle that there's lots and lots and lots of good and happy things. And yes, there are little tiny struggles that we've had along the way as well. And those tiny struggles, you've just got to deal with them. And then they become tiny. At the beginning, they seem like big struggles, but you deal with them and they do become tiny. So just, enjoy your life, do what you think is best for yourself, and be happy.
I'll see you next week. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Jazakallah. Yeah, see you all next week. Jazakallah.